Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's head outside and take a look outside our weather window from this afternoon. And not a bad day out there today. Beautiful shot looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, and you can see some low-hanging clouds today. We did see some blue sky, and the nice part about today, warmer temperatures, and boy, a big meltdown out there today. And we're going to continue with this dry weather as we get you into tomorrow and right through the weekend. Temperatures are going to stay pretty much seasonal over Friday and Saturday, and then a big warm up on Sunday and into the first part of next week. We'll talk more weather coming up later on in the newscast. But first, our top story tonight, or should say, here are the few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A 25-year-old Warden-area man was arrested on domestic violence charges Tuesday after a woman called from a Moses Lake gas station to say her boyfriend had pointed a loaded gun at her head and threatened to kill her. A Malaga man must serve 60 days in jail for sexually abusing an animal. And the Chelan-Douglas Health District said Wednesday they're shutting down a pair of COVID-19 vaccine clinics and shifting their emphasis to testing. But first, our top story tonight, the man who directs Washington's Department of Fish and Wildlife teams in north central Washington is accused of poaching big game. 42-year-old Brock Haynes was appointed Director of Fish and Wildlife's north central region last July. Ferry County prosecutors say in November, Haynes illegally killed an animal in their jurisdiction. The charge was filed in late December. It does not specify what type of animal or what hunting method was involved. Haynes told the Spokane Spokesman Review he made a mistake and reported the incident himself to authorities. The poaching charge carries a maximum penalty of a year in jail and a $5,000 fine. Haynes oversees fish and wildlife operations in Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Okanagan, and Adams counties. He faces his first court hearing on February 4th. A 25-year-old Warden-area man was arrested on domestic violence charges Tuesday after a woman called from a Moses Lake gas station to report her boyfriend had pointed a loaded gun at her head and threatened to kill her. Moses Lake Police and Grant County Sheriff's deputies drove to the man's home and reported seeing the suspect flee into a nearby cornfield. The sheriff's office said canine Chewbacca and a drone were used to find the suspect. Michael Sarah Baraha was arrested on first-degree assault, domestic violence, felony harassment, and unlawful possession of a firearm. Last January, Baraha was arrested on domestic violence charges after an hour-long manhunt in Moses Lake that also involved canine Chewbacca. Meanwhile, a Malaga man must serve 60 days in jail for sexually abusing an animal. 61-year-old Porfirio Urastigue was sentenced Wednesday after pleading guilty to one count of first-degree animal cruelty. Investigators say he sexually abused a dog on his property and found video evidence of him doing so. 9 dogs were seized from his property last April, and the recording was used as evidence in the case against him. Besides his jail sentence, the judge's order permanently bans Urastigue from owning, residing with, or caring for any animal for the rest of his life. The Chelan-Douglas Health District said yesterday they're shutting down a pair of COVID-19 vaccine clinics and shifting their emphasis to testing. A vaccine clinic scheduled for Saturday in Leavenworth has been canceled, and the health district's vaccine clinic on 2nd Street in East Wenatchee will close after today. In a statement, the health district said people who have received a first dose of a vaccine will be contacted for details on how and when to receive their second vaccine. The district opened a drive-through testing site at the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee on Monday that was quickly overwhelmed with people wanting to be tested. On Tuesday, the district began requiring that appointments be made for the tests, and only people with COVID-19 symptoms would be eligible. More than 700 people were tested at that site yesterday. Well, coming up next, after being closed for 7 straight days by heavy snow, extreme avalanche danger, and more than 200 snowslides, Stevens Pass finally reopened this morning. Kittitas County Commissioners lashed out at the state Wednesday for refusing their offer to help clear last week's record snowfall from a state highway. An interim executive will take over for Chelan County's Community Development Director. The leader of Lake Chelan School District is departing after this school year. And the search is on to replace Eastmont School Superintendent Garn Christensen, and the district wants residents to observe the process. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if you only had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties. Mary Maids, let us help.
At Wenatchee Powersports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Powersports.
Welcome back. In another news, after being closed for 7 straight days by heavy snow, extreme avalanche danger, and more than 200 snowslides, Stevens Pass finally reopened this morning. All 4 major mountain passes were closed last week after that major snowstorm, January 5th and 6th. Snoqualmie and Blewett Passes reopened on Sunday. White Pass remained closed today, though, as a rock slide further complicated things for state crews. The Washington Department of Transportation had hoped to reopen Highway 2 Stevens Pass yesterday, but heavy rain on Tuesday created further avalanche danger on the west side, and new slides in Tumwater Canyon created safety risks on the east side. Kittitas County Commissioners lashed out at the state on Wednesday for refusing their offer to help clear last week's record snowfall from a state highway. Both the commissioners and the state said that assistance was refused because Kittitas County does not have a COVID-19 vaccine mandate for its workers. In a statement, Commissioner Corey Wright said it's, quote, time for logic and leadership to overcome ideology, unquote. The Washington State Department of Transportation responded that an interlocal agreement signed with the county in November stated that all contracts with state agencies require complying with state government's vaccine mandate. At issue was a stretch of Highway 903 near the snowed-in town of Ronald. WashDOT said the county's offer to help came Tuesday, but because their crews were not an option, the state hired a private contractor who began clearing the highway on Wednesday. Well, an interim executive will take over for Chelan County's Community Development Director. County commissioners this week appointed Chris Young, who previously served as a building administrator for Arlington, Washington, and Kingman, Arizona. He'll take over for Jim Brown, who headed the Community Development Office for nearly 2 years before announcing he'll resign, effective at the end of this month. The department deals with zoning and structure planning issues throughout unincorporated Chelan County. The leader of Lake Chelan School District is departing after this school year. Superintendent Barry DePauli will retire June 30th. DePauli has spent 22 years leading the Lake Chelan district with a total of 35 years as an educational administrator. The district serves 1,300 students at 6 school buildings throughout the Chelan Valley. The school board says the search for a new superintendent will begin soon. Well, speaking of searches, the search is also on to replace Eastmont School Superintendent Garn Christensen, and the district wants residents to observe the process. Eastmont is establishing an interview observer panel to sit in on preliminary meetings with candidates for the job. Observers won't be able to grill the applicants, but they will be asked to give input to the school board once the initial interviews are complete. Interviews are scheduled for February 15th and 17th. To join the observer panel, ask for your application from Eastmont Schools and return it to the district office by February 1st. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Each week, NCWLIFE's Rachel Mandelas introduces us to a new pet available for adoption at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. This week, we have something a little extra special, a bonded pair of rabbits named Smudge and Shirley.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley and I'm with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society as an animal care tech. And this week we have the two rabbits, Smudge and Shirley. They're a bonded pair of rabbits, which means that they have to go together. But honestly, having two rabbits is really good anyway. They keep each other company and they play together, they groom each other, and I think they get into less mischief because they're together. Smudge, who's the white and gray boy, he's the more outgoing one of the two of them. He will put his chin on your hands and rub his little chin on you for scratches and attention. Shirley is a little bit more on the shyer side, but she is outgoing with Smudge. He is definitely her emotional support in that way. Wherever he goes, she goes. They're both very sweet. Their kennel here is very clean. They're both litter box trained, which is amazing. And they're really good rabbits. They love playing with their toys. They have little chew toys that they go through every few days. Oh, good boy. And they eat their food really well, and they're very good about eating their hay. If you're interested in getting the pair of them, you can come on down to our shelter. We're open currently Tuesdays through Sundays, 11 to 6, with a 1-hour closure between 1:30 and 2:30 for quiet time.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Time now to take a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Thursday was a great one. Boy, that warmer weather, warmer temperatures anyway out there felt really good today. Looking down at the beautiful Wenatchee Valley and the snow-covered Cascades, and that putting it mildly, isn't it, around here? But temperatures today were warmer, as we mentioned. In fact, we were well above normal today. 38, our unofficial high temperature today. Lots of slush out there, that's for sure. 33 is normal. Our record high was 55 degrees. That was set back in 1994. 32, our overnight low. That too well above what we should see for this time of year at 24. Our record low temperature, 1 below, and that was set in 2017. Our sunrise this morning was 7:45, and the sun set today at 4:35. Boy, getting a little bit more sunlight now, aren't we? As we take a look tomorrow at Friday's temperatures, things will cool back just a little bit tomorrow, mainly because we're going to see some morning fog and then some cloud cover, which we'll get to in a second. But 34 for Ephrata, Moses Lake, and for Quincy tomorrow. Wenatchee, we will also see 34, 32 in Leavenworth, 27 in Lake Wenatchee, and 35 the high temperature tomorrow in Entiat. Tonight we can expect mostly cloudy skies. We talked about patchy fog developing, big ridge of high pressure up and over us, but it's a dirty ridge which allows some clouds to move in. And notice the pink areas, that's where we'll see that fog overnight tonight, especially to our east. If you're traveling on I-90 through Ritzville and into to Spokane, you're going to see some of that fog. We'll see some fog in the morning too, and then cloudy skies in the afternoon. High temperatures, as we just talked about for your Friday, into the mid-30s. And then as we get you into the weekend, once again, ridge of high pressure dominating our weather throughout the weekend. We'll call it seasonal temperatures for Saturday under mostly cloudy skies, mid-30s for high temperatures. Getting you into Sunday, ending our weekend. Not much change from Saturday. Cloudy skies. We will begin a warming trend, though, on Sunday as our airflow comes back to the southwest. Highs in the upper 30s for Sunday as we kick off our next work week. High pressure here and high pressure in the Great Basin. That's going to might make for some very stable weather on Monday with high temperatures. We'll take it, won't we? Near 40 degrees. As we get to Tuesday, not much change. Mostly cloudy skies and mild. High pressure still in control of our weather pattern. We might even see low 40s for high temperatures on Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, we talked about this ridge being kind of a dirty ridge. Here's an area of low pressure that's squeezing down this high, and that'll allow some clouds to move into our area and possibly even some showers. So we'll throw a 30% chance of rain on for Wednesday with still mild temperatures into the lower 40s. Take a look at that 7-day forecast now. Freezing mark tonight overnight, 34 the high tomorrow. Keep in mind as you make that commute in the morning, you might run into a little bit of morning patchy fog. 34 as well on Saturday, and then the warm up begins for Sunday, 37 degrees. Martin Luther King Day on Monday, expect mostly cloudy skies and 41 for your high temperature on Tuesday. And as we get into the end of the forecast on Wednesday, maybe a shot of a rain shower or two. Cloudy skies with a high temperature of 42. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
What is home? A place to gather, a place to grow, provide shelter for the ones we love, eat, drink, restore, build trust. It's a place to rest when the workday is done, a place to find quiet after a night of good fun. What an honor we have at Guild to help own, finance, create, pave the way to live in home.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up. It's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel. Happy Thursday. The Seattle Kraken can't get out of their own way. They've now lost 7 in a row. Dallas got the better part of the Kraken last night down in Lone Star State. The final was 5-2. It's the same trend we've seen. They drop the puck and the opponent team scores before they could even break a sweat. Now, they did come back, but in the end, Dallas got the victory. Here are your highlights.
Formerly of the Oilers and Islanders. McCann, nice job to take the bank off the skate, and then triangle to Yardbrook, who scored. What a setup, what a finish by Seattle. Power play goal, and they've got the equalizer. Heiskanen, one-timer, low wide, rebound, score! Joe Pavelski in the perfect spot, took the bank off the backboards. Buries it home, and the Stars have the lead once again. I guess they even go in pairs to the sin bin. 5-on-3, spread out Dallas. In front, Robertson delays, he scores! What a move! Dunn was a goal-scoring weapon from the blue line in his St. Louis time. Here's a pass for McCann, who scores! A saucer pass right on the tape of the Kraken's leading scorer, and Jared McCann knows what to do with it. Ben comes free from the penalty box. Stars are through it. Here's Lindell in front. Pavelski scores! His second goal tonight. We saw extra attacker. This one will roll towards the cage and in. 200 feet. Yanni Hakanpää.
After the game, Coach Dave Haxtell said, we played pretty good in the second and the third period. In the first period, not so much.
Number one, this team starts really good in their building, and we didn't match that in the first. So, the 3-1 deficit after the first period, as we know, it's tough to come back from behind in this league. Our second and third periods were effort-wise were real good. We turned the game. Made a mistake at the end of the second to give the 2-goal lead back. And, I have no issue at all with our effort and compete in the second, third period, but we didn't match them in the first.
No rest for the Wild. They're playing as we speak. They dropped the puck in St. Louis against the Blues about a half an hour ago. By the time the Wild dropped the puck, it would have been 15 days since they played a game, but they got Penticton in town at the Town Toyota Center. They lost 4 games because of COVID protocol, but Coach Chris Clark says losing those 4 games might actually be a good thing.
Basically, we just had to, obviously when you send, both teams have 24 kids, they all went home for Christmas, they all came back for Christmas. That's a lot of time in and out of airports and traveling, and so what I can tell you is that it was for the safety of everybody. We quarantined for 5 days. We did nothing for 5 days. Shut down completely, had the guys quarantine. We were able to come back this past week. We've had 3 good days of practice, and we've had to reschedule some games, but that's just part of it. I think you see it from the pros right on down to college, to youth, to junior hockey. I mean, everybody's kind of going through that right now, but we'll get those games rescheduled and reannounced here shortly. But I guess if there's a blessing in disguise, we were a little bit banged up as well. So it's, I was telling you before we started here, yesterday was our first practice with our entire team since before Christmas. So I think it was maybe a little bit of a blessing in disguise for us. Knock on wood, we are healthy now, and we're excited for Penticton on Saturday.
Now, prior to their unplanned break, the Wild had won 6 of 7 games, and Coach Clark said it's all about the players simply playing hockey.
I just think it's experience. I think our guys have now all played 20 games, right around 20 games, and you can't replicate experience. You can't replicate being out there and experiencing what it's like to play a junior hockey game or many junior hockey games, 2-game weeks, 3-game weeks, wins, losses. You can't replicate that in practice as much as you try, and we finally have all our kids able to get into that and understand what it takes to be successful on a nightly basis. And we knew it would take some time with this group, but like you said, they've definitely turned a corner, and we're excited for a great second half.
So it's the Wild and the Penticton Vees Saturday night, 6 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. Big victory for the Huskies last night. They pulled away from Cal at the very end with a nice home victory, and they win in Pac-12 play. Terrell Brown Jr., 21 points. Nate Roberts had 10 points and 10 rebounds. Washington defeating Cal. Coach Mike Hopkins says Roberts' presence in the paint was the key.
They only attempted 2 3-pointers, and that was because of us. That wasn't because of anything else. And our interior defense with Nate Roberts was the best game. He was physical with Andre Kelly. Andre Kelly couldn't get a touch. He matched his physicality when he got the ball, when he did get the touch, and then he finished with the rebounding. I mean, he really, really rebounded. And the biggest, we knew he could rebound, we knew those things, but the thing that was so impressive tonight was the 6 for 7 from the foul line.
Huskies improved to 2-2 with the victory last night. All right, here's your schedule. First of all, they will not be playing Eastern Washington and Idaho State. COVID rears its ugly head. The Cougars tipped off against Stanford at 2 o'clock this afternoon. BYU visits second-ranked Gonzaga. Last time BYU was in Gonzaga, they almost beat them. In the meantime, Haley Van Lithen, our third-ranked Louisville Cardinal, have an ACC class with Syracuse today. They tipped off at 4 o'clock. Eastern Washington, Idaho State will play at 6 on ESPN+. The Gonzaga women at Pacific at 7 o'clock. Prep sports schedule, not a lot going on. Pretty quiet. Just one game on the girls' docket. It's Cascade Christian, and they'll be hosting Antioch at 6 o'clock. In the boys' game, Chelan is scheduled to play Royal at 6:30. We'll see. And Antioch and the Cascade Christian boys' team will tip off at 7:30. They're wrestling tonight. Moses Lake will be hosting West Valley at 5. Cashmere, Omak, and Quincy will beat in Chelan at 6 o'clock. And Afraid travels to Prosser to do some grappling at 7 o'clock. And just a reminder, high school basketball tomorrow night. It is the Panthers and the Wildcats will be at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium. Now, the girls will tip at 5:45. We'll have that live on our Facebook page. And then the boys will follow at 7:30, which will be live on TV and on our Facebook page. And the girls' game will air at TV tomorrow night at 10:30. The handsome and debonair Eric Granstrom can't be there, so the even more handsome and more debonair Grant Olson will call the play-by-play. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Bill Belichick. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Tomorrow is Friday, and of course, as you know by now, because of the Gregorian calendar that we adopted many centuries ago, Fridays are followed by Saturdays, which are followed by Sundays, and together we call those weekends. And we're going to get your weekend going with everything you need, including the latest news, the latest weather forecast, the latest sports. We'll set the table for your weekend with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be live and local right here from Studio 4, sometimes known as Rubber Ducky Studio, for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow at 7 a.m. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
Counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5, into the...
High school sports is back, and NCWLIFE Channel's got you covered. Tune in for football, girls soccer, and volleyball right here. Thanks to our sponsors, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Rivercom 911, and Sangster Motors. Follow all the action of high school sports on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE Channel.